Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Why are we okay with waiting on wealth? Why do we treat abundance like it's on backorder? The truth is, making money is not slow by design. It's slow by decision. You don't need more time. You need a shift in thinking. And today, I'm here to help you change that. Because the faster you learn the principles of wealth, the faster money will start chasing you. Clarity is the gateway to acceleration. When most people say they want to make money faster, what they're really saying is they want to move forward. But what they don't realize is that movement without direction just makes you busy, not wealthy. Speed without clarity is like being on a treadmill. You're sweating, you're tired, but you haven't gone anywhere. The number one reason people aren't making money quickly is not because they're lazy, untalented, or unlucky. It's because they're unclear. They're unsure about what they're offering, unsure about who they're offering it to, and unsure about the exact problem they're solving. And that uncertainty creates hesitation, and hesitation repels opportunity. People don't buy from uncertain people. They don't follow hesitant leaders. They don't invest in vagueness. Clarity builds confidence, and confidence attracts clients, customers, and cash. When you're unclear, everything feels overwhelming. You start trying to be everything to everyone, which makes you invisible to the people who need you the most. You tweak your message 10 different ways. You keep rebranding. You keep changing your pricing, your packaging, your strategy, thinking that if you just find the perfect version, the money will start flowing. But the issue isn't the color of your logo. It's not the font on your Instagram post. It's that you haven't taken the time to define exactly what you do, why it matters, and who it's for. The moment you get that clarity, you collapse the timeline to income. You eliminate the guesswork. You stop trying to convince people and start calling them. And the difference between convincing and calling is clarity. When you're clear, you attract. When you're unclear, you chase. Think about this. When someone says they need a heart surgeon, they don't want someone who says, well, I kind of do health stuff. They want someone who says, I specialize in high-risk heart surgery for patients over 50. That specificity creates instant trust. Clarity communicates authority. It doesn't just tell people what you do. It tells them why you're the one to do it. And in business, in life, in every form of influence, trust is the currency. The more clearly you communicate your value, the faster people trust you with their money. And the faster they trust you, the faster they buy. Clarity also simplifies your decisions. It gives you a filter. When you know who you serve and what problem you solve, you stop entertaining every shiny distraction. You stop saying yes to things that waste your time and dilute your focus. You stop building things nobody asked for and start creating what people are already desperate to find. Clarity removes emotional noise. It quiets the internal confusion that keeps people stuck in analysis paralysis. You don't have to think 10 times about what to say or how to say it, because you know who you're talking to and what they need. You show up with laser focus, you write with power, you speak with direction, and people feel it. They feel that certainty, they feel that alignment, they feel your message was made just for them. But here's where most people miss it. They wait for clarity to show up. They wait for a feeling. They wait for some magical moment of inspiration. But clarity doesn't come from waiting. It comes from deciding. You don't find clarity, you create it. You choose to define your offer. You choose to refine your message. You choose to lock in on your niche. You choose to stop being general and start being specific. That's when things move. That's when energy shifts. That's when your message starts to land and your income starts to rise. Because the clearer you are about what you do, the clearer others become about why they need you. The idea that money comes from time is one of the most deeply ingrained myths keeping people stuck in financial limitation. We've been conditioned to believe that if we just work more hours, grind harder, and push longer, eventually the money will come. But let's tell the truth. Time has never paid anyone. Time is a container. Value is the content, and it's the content, not the container, that determines the worth. People aren't paying you because you clocked in for 8 hours. They're paying you because in those 8 hours, or in just 8 minutes, you delivered something they deeply needed. You solved a problem, you relieved a pain, you created a result, and the truth is, if you can do that in 1 hour instead of 8, you should be paid more, not less, because money doesn't reward effort, it rewards effectiveness. When people say, "I want to make more money," what they often mean is they want to be more valuable, but they don't realize value is not about how hard you work. Value is about how well you solve. When someone buys a product, they're not buying your sweat. They're buying their transformation. They're buying peace of mind. They're buying a shortcut to their goal. They're buying the outcome they want most, and they're willing to pay to get it faster, easier, and more reliably. You can work 60 hours a week and still be broke if you're not offering something that creates real impact. And you can work 10 hours a week and earn abundantly if you've positioned yourself around high-value solutions. That's the difference between being busy and being profitable. Your job isn't to chase hours. Your job is to chase mastery. Get so good at solving a specific problem that people seek you out and pay you premium prices. Your time becomes irrelevant when your solution becomes undeniable. And this is why some people can charge $500 for a consultation that lasts an hour, while others can't get people to pay $50 for a whole day. It's not about duration, it's about transformation. The world doesn't need more tired people. The world needs people who can create value with precision, with excellence, and with confidence. Because when you bring value, you don't have to beg for income. You don't have to compete with price. You don't have to discount your worth. You position yourself as essential, and essential gets paid. Another key to understanding value is knowing the difference between cost and worth. Something can cost little but be worth much. Think of a life, saving medicine. It might cost $2 to make, but is worth thousands because of the outcome it produces. In the same way, your services, your offers, your skills, they may not take you long to deliver, but if they solve a painful problem or unlock a powerful result, they are worth exponentially more than the time it takes you to perform them. And yet people hesitate to raise their prices, to demand more, to package their value boldly, because they're still trapped in that outdated mindset that says time equals money. No, impact equals money. Result equals money. Value equals money. If you want to make money faster, you've got to shift your identity from being a time seller to being a value deliverer. You are not just someone who shows up and does tasks. You are someone who shows up and shifts lives. And the faster you align your actions with that truth, the faster your income will begin to reflect it. Because value is not something you chase. It's something you recognize within yourself and communicate to the world with power and certainty. People are looking for answers. They're looking for relief. They're looking for breakthroughs. And the moment you step into your worth and present your offer with authority, you stop trading hours for dollars and start getting compensated in direct proportion to the change you create. Money moves at the speed of value, but value moves through systems. If you want to make money faster, you don't just need hustle. You need structure. Hustle without systems is chaos. It keeps you reactive, exhausted, and scattered. But when you build systems, you turn effort into momentum. You turn one-time wins into repeatable income. You create a machine that works even when you don't. Most people think they have an income problem, but they actually have a system problem. They're trying to do everything manually, reinventing the wheel every day, hoping that somehow more effort will lead to more income, but effort without systems is a broken strategy. It's like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. You're working hard, but you're leaking results. The solution isn't to hustle harder. It's to fix the leaks. A system is simply a repeatable process that produces a predictable result. And when it comes to income, predictability is power. You need a clear path from attention to transaction, from interest to investment, from message to money. That means automating what can be automated, delegating what can be delegated, and designing every part of your workflow with intention. Every step you take that gets the same result over and over should be turned into a system. If someone inquires about your offer, there should be a system for how they're onboarded. If someone lands on your content, there should be a system that guides them to the next action. If someone buys from you once, there should be a system to keep them engaged, to offer more value, and to build a long-term relationship. Without systems, you're always starting from scratch. You're answering the same questions 100 times. You're repeating the same explanations, building everything from the ground up, and burning out in the process. But when you systemize, you multiply. One great message can become an email sequence that runs for years. One coaching session can be recorded, turned into a course, and sold thousands of times. One sales call can be scripted and duplicated by a trained team. Systems don't replace your genius, they amplify it. They take what works and make it work at scale. That's how you speed up income. Not by doing more, but by doing what works. On repeat, a lot of people resist systems because they think systems will box them in, make them robotic, or remove the creative flow. But systems don't kill creativity, disorder does. It's hard to be creative when you're stressed, scattered, and stretched thin. Systems create the space for creativity. They handle the repetitive so you can focus on the exceptional. They give you the freedom to innovate because the foundation is solid. And in business, freedom is found in structure. Every successful entrepreneur, artist, or leader who makes money at scale has learned to respect systems. You don't have to be the one doing every task. You just have to be the one designing how the task gets done. If you want income to grow, your systems must grow with it. The same habits and workflows that got you from 0 to 5,000 won't get you to 50,000. You have to zoom out and think about scale, think about speed, think about sustainability, what can be simplified, what can be outsourced, what can be digitized, documented, or automated. Money loves systems because systems multiply value. They make your offer easier to buy, your service easier to deliver, and your client experience easier to repeat. And when everything becomes easier, income flows faster, decisions become clearer, and growth becomes inevitable. This is how you stop trading effort for dollars and start earning from momentum. When you've built systems, money can find you while you sleep, while you rest, while you create. You're no longer dependent on your physical presence to generate income. Your systems go to work even when you don't, and that's the true power of wealth building in this age. It's not just about having a great offer, it's about having the right infrastructure behind that offer, so it moves through the world with consistency, precision, and profitability. Speed is not just about motion, it's about alignment. If you want to make money faster, you have to get into alignment with people who are already moving in the direction of your value. Too many people are wasting time trying to convince the wrong audience. They're speaking to people who don't have the problem, don't feel the urgency, or don't have the willingness to invest in the solution. And that mismatch creates friction. It creates delay. It creates frustration. It's like shouting in a room full of people wearing headphones. They can't hear you, not because your voice isn't strong, but because they're not tuned in. The secret to speed is not chasing harder. It's targeting smarter. It's positioning your message, your offer, your value in front of people who already have the awareness, the desire, and the capacity to act when you align with the right audience. Your message doesn't feel like persuasion. It feels like confirmation. They hear you and immediately say, "That's exactly what I needed." They don't need to be convinced of the problem because they're already living it. They don't need to be convinced of your worth because they've already been searching for someone like you. When you align with the right people, you stop pushing and start attracting, and attraction is faster than persuasion. Alignment collapses time. It accelerates decision making. It removes resistance because the resonance is already there. You're not planting seeds. You're showing up and harvest ready fields, but alignment isn't just about knowing your audience. It's also about knowing yourself. The more clearly you understand your own value, your own lane, your own unique genius, the more magnetic you become to the right people. Clarity creates speed. Confusion slows everything down. If you're unclear on who you serve or what problem you solve, your message will be muddy, your offers will be scattered, and your audience will hesitate. But when you are sharp, specific, and bold in your positioning, your value cuts through the noise, and people don't just notice you, they trust you, they lean in, they move faster because your clarity gives them confidence you can't serve everyone, and you shouldn't try. The fastest path to income is focus. Focus on a specific person with a specific problem that you are uniquely positioned to solve. When you do that, you eliminate waste. You stop throwing your time, your energy, your resources into conversations that were never meant for you. Instead, you pour yourself into where the return is highest. You create content that lands. You build offers that convert. You build a brand that stands for something. Because when people know exactly what you do and exactly who it's for, they can refer you, they can find you. They can hire you without confusion. Money doesn't just follow value. It follows clarity, confidence, and connection. The faster you connect to the people who are already looking for you, the faster the money flows. This is why your environment matters. This is why your network matters. Being in the wrong room will always slow you down. But when you get in the right rooms, rooms where people talk solutions instead of excuses, rooms where investing is normal, rooms where momentum is the culture, you begin to absorb that pace. You begin to upgrade your standards. You begin to match the frequency of acceleration, because money doesn't come to desperation. It comes to alignment. It comes to certainty. It comes to those who are willing to stop chasing everyone and start serving someone with precision, with intention, and with commitment. When your value is clear and your alignment is strong, everything accelerates. You no longer waste time answering, "What do you do?" You no longer waste effort trying to be everything to everyone. You show up with authority. You speak with relevance. You market with impact. And people move not because they're pressured, but because they're prepared. They're ready. They're waiting for someone like you to show up and solve what they no longer want to tolerate. And the moment you step into that alignment, money doesn't just show up. It shows up faster, with ease, with consistency, and with expansion. Money moves to those who move with decision. If you want to make money faster, you must stop waiting and start deciding. Indecision is expensive. Every moment you spend hesitating is a moment you're not earning. Every delay in launching, offering, asking, or showing up is a delay in your income. Most people think they need more time, more knowledge, or more preparation. But what they really need is more courage to decide. Decision is the bridge between idea and income. You can't get paid for what you never commit to. You can't grow something you never launch. You can't succeed at a strategy you never fully implement. The faster you make decisions, the faster you learn, the faster you move, the faster you build momentum. And momentum is what creates velocity in your income. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a committed one. You can fix a decision you made too fast, but you can't monetize a decision you never made. Speed favors the bold. The marketplace rewards those who act with clarity, not those who overthink themselves into paralysis. The people making the most money aren't always the smartest, the most talented, or the most experienced. They are the ones who decided to show up, speak up, and sell with certainty. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't ask if it was okay. They didn't wait to feel ready. They moved, and because they moved, results followed. Movement creates clarity. Every time you act, you learn. Every time you test, you grow. Every time you launch, even if it's imperfect, you gain insight, feedback, data, and most importantly, confidence. The longer you delay a decision, the more fear creeps in. Fear feeds off hesitation, but when you decide, you starve fear. You rob it of its power. Most people let fear become the author of their future because they delay, they procrastinate, they rationalize. They hide behind the mask of preparation, but preparation without execution is just disguised avoidance. Decision breaks that cycle. Decision is the moment you say, "I'm no longer available for delay." It's when you say, "I'm building now, I'm offering now, I'm asking now." And in that now, you step into a new income level because income doesn't wait for perfection. It responds to movement. The quality of your life is determined by the speed and strength of your decisions. This applies to who you work with, what you offer, what you say yes to, and just as importantly, what you say no to. Fast money comes to those who stop tolerating things that slow them down. You can't move fast while dragging indecisiveness like a weight. You can't build a premium brand while second guessing every offer. You can't step into expansion while playing small in your choices. Decide what you want. Decide what you're building. Decide what you're no longer willing to entertain. Because the moment you decide, you create alignment, and alignment is a multiplier. Decisions unlock doors. When you commit, opportunities notice. Clients feel it. Partners recognize it. The universe starts rearranging itself around your certainty. But when you stay in the middle, stuck between possibilities, money hesitates, it waits, because money doesn't follow the maybe. It follows the move. It follows the energy of completion, the presence of commitment, the posture of someone who has chosen their lane and is running in it full speed. Decision attracts resources, people, and acceleration. If you've ever wondered why things feel stuck, it's not always strategy. It's often indecision. That choice you've been delaying might be the exact thing holding back your next financial breakthrough. When you start making faster decisions, you not only start earning faster, you become a different person. You become someone who trusts themselves, someone who doesn't negotiate with fear, someone who acts in faith, not in doubt. That energy is magnetic. That frequency is what draws in aligned clients, partners, investors, and momentum. You don't need to be perfect to make a decision. You just need to be present. And when you are fully present, fully committed, and fully in motion, money begins to find you at the speed of your conviction. I want you to hear this. Money isn't the mission. But if you're called to impact, wealth is your weapon. The faster you embrace your worth, package your value, and move with boldness, the faster abundance will align with your assignment. So stop settling. Stop waiting. Stop rehearsing poverty as if it's noble. Just make money faster, because the world needs your gift now, not someday. Thank you.